I've done a lot of interviews since working in the radio industry, and this interview has gotten the biggest response from my friends and family.
I believe it.
They cared the most about this one.
Holy moly. Wow, that is so sweet. I'm just so flattered. That's wonderful. You should be watching the Tell You Later show that we do. It's been on for 3 years on YouTube, right?
I know.
Be a patron. Yeah.
You're darn right, and you better believe I'm going to be. So,
Well, and I did think that I was...
That would be really great. What?
Sorry, I was just going to say, I thought I was an Adventures in Odyssey fan until I met Courtney. And then I really...
I'm going to tell you a funny story. I'm going to tell you a funny story about that. But go ahead, finish what your thought.
Well, I think I did. I think I did finish it.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, are we recording now?
You bet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we are? Okay. Well, okay, so this is funny. So yesterday at church, we had a special guest speaker who's a tour guide from Israel. Anyway, some people came to church because they had, now I got caught on something, been on one of his tours. Anyways, cute little couple. So after church, Townsend Coleman goes to church with me. He plays Jason. So when he's in town, we go to church there. Anyway, so I was saying hello to these new people, and Townsend did too. And we were talking, and we just said hello, and she said hi. I said, told her my name. She said, I'm Katrina. And Townie kind of looked at me with a little giggle. He goes, Katrina. That's because we have a Katrina in Odyssey, right?
Right.
And so he said, he's kind of laughing, and then he needed to explain to her why he was giggling. He goes, oh, Katrina, like, in Adventures in Odyssey. And her face lit up. She goes, oh, and she points to her husband and goes, wait, we listen to Odyssey. Do you listen to Odyssey too? And Townsend and I, we were laughing, and then he goes, well, actually. And then they went,
That's so crazy. Wow.
Oh, I just would have flipped out.
Speaking of flipping out, we did meet a little friend over the weekend who at this concert, when we were just telling you about the concert, we met a friend there that I wanted you to hear was a pretty big fan. Here we go.
Hello,
Who are you?
my name is Eliza McCowan,
And where are you guys from?
Beecher City, Illinois.
Okay, so have you ever heard of Adventures in Odyssey?
Of course.
All right, then what is it?
It's about Wit's End and Wit being there and something about... Hey, I'm not supposed to say.
All right, who are some of your favorite characters on the show?
Court Connie.
Court Connie. Okay, so tell me, why did you mess that up?
Because Courtney's just like Connie.
Okay,
Oh,
and how's that?
because they both are nice and sweet, intelligent, curious, and very thoughtful.
Thoughtful. And maybe they second guess themselves every now and then?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do that?
Yeah, I do
Connie
all the
do that
time.
too?
Yes.
Do you know who the voice of Connie Kendall is?
Who?
Katie Lee. So guess what?
What?
We're going to be talking to Katie Lee on the show. Can you believe it?
Oh my God!
So we wanted to give you the opportunity to give a message to Katie Lee, who is the voice actor of Connie Kendall. What would you like to say?
Oh my gosh. Hi, I listen to Adventures in Odyssey a lot, and it's nice to be saying nice.
What do you love about Connie?
She's very curious, and she's very funny, and I'm surprised that she has a sister, Jules, but I shouldn't be.
I'm
And it's
surprised
really
too.
funny.
I know.
All right, so there it is. What a wonderful
oh, my goodness.
thing.
Hey, Eliza, thank you. That's very sweet. I love compliments, like most of human beings. Thank you. That's very nice.
Yes. So, and this is a real thing.
fun.
So at this place, Courtney very much is like Connie, like a lot. Like all the things that were said. In fact, I'm not even sure, like, I thought you were Connie for a while, Court, when I first met you. And then I realized it was just that you were a fan, and not that you're trying to be like her, but the
No.
two of you are actually very similar.
Yes.
As we just heard.
Well, you realize you've never seen us both in the same place at the
Exactly.
same time.
That is the mystery of it all. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, maybe if something happens to me, you should contact Focus on the Family.
oh, you don't even know. I really have always had a dream in the back of my mind that it would be so neat to work for Adventures in Odyssey. So really that does lead me into one of my questions. Like, I just want to know a taste of the behind the scenes, because you've been there. How many years has it been?
36.
Whoa!
Can't. 36. And I just saw a little piece of trivia that you are in more episodes than any other character except for Whit himself, because you came in on episode 4 and you've been there ever since.
Well, my episode 4, I think, is really episode 1, I think.
Oh.
Isn't it? Or did they put it in that
know.
order? I don't know. Well, I
You would
didn't
know.
record the first one because I had just had a baby and I couldn't go into the studio. And I said, you guys are going to have to get somebody else. If I had known you were there, I probably would have said, you're going to have to call Courtney.
Exactly.
The thing about it was,
I can't.
I wasn't born yet, so you
can't.
had to do it.
Yeah, you probably weren't born yet, right?
Nope.
But my son was.
Oh, okay.
My son was, and so I said, I can't. It was a long drive, and I said, you're going to have to get somebody else. And they said, oh, okay. But then 6 weeks later, they called me back, and they said, can you come in now? And I was like, oh, gee whiz. They waited this long. I better. I said, okay, can I bring my baby? And they went, well, this is Focus on the Family. Okay, bring a baby.
That's
Oh, that's
That's
good.
wonderful.
Can you imagine that first episode? It's so funny to tell the story now, 36 years later, because that first episode, I was there with my little 6-week-old infant son in his little tote thing, and that's who Connie really was at the time.
How did they find you?
Did that just ruin everything for you?
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry.
Oh, no. It's
Nothing's
just,
ruined.
just as great as always. Yeah. How did they find you, though?
Gosh. How did they find me? They didn't. I made them find me because, I made them find me because I had been praying. I wanted to do some kind of voiceover work that was, glorifying to God, and I was driving somewhere far away from my home. I had an appointment somewhere, and I was listening to the radio, Focus on the Family, and they were playing family portraits. And I'm like, whoa, hey, that's Hal Smith. And I've been working with Hal and some of the other actors. They're all professionals. And I recognize voices that I thought, they're using professional actors on this thing. And where my appointment was actually the same town where Focus was at the time. And I went and found a phone booth and found their address. And I drove over there and I gave them my reel-to-reel demo.
Whoa.
I said, I would really, if you're using actors, I would like to be a part of whatever you're doing over here. And they tried me out on some stuff that they were doing. They used to put their magazine on cassette for people who were hearing, visually impaired.
Mhm.
Can't read, right? But at the time, and then they were tweaking family portraits to become Adventures in Odyssey, and they came up with this character, and they said, we have something we're doing, and we have this role in mind for you, and so they kind of had me in mind for it, but they kept postponing the recording. It was like 6 months probably overall. Like, this month, no, we're not ready yet. And then when they finally called me, it was like 6 months later than I had expected, and that's when I had just had Adam.
Oh.
And who, by the way, played Cal in the Novacom series when he got bigger.
My gosh.
That's amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah, so that's how that happened. So I honestly believe it was an answer to prayer and something that, just to encourage your audience. I mean, when I'm just like, I just want to do something, that uplifts people, that glorifies God, that I can feel good about. I mean, who could imagine a role like this that would last this many years and have such an impact all over the world? I mean, it's so much bigger than my little prayer, could have even imagined, right?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it is, for sure.
Yeah, you have to take a minute to be quiet and let that sink in, because that is unbelievable. And every single person who works on Odyssey, I can tell you, at this point in our lives, just because not just because we're old and tired, but that thought just brings tears to our eyes because it is so impactful and meaningful to so many people. And the fact that Eliza, who you interviewed, could have so many. I mean, I can't even describe my kids with that many adjectives. I'm like in my own world. And the fact that, they think about these characters so much and mean so much to them and can, have such what Connie means to her is just so amazing. And that's just one listener,
That is really true.
I mean, I can speak from personal testimony that when Connie...
The difference would be for you, though, that you would say, well, I just don't have the words to describe it. But the thing was, Eliza did have the words.
Well, that's right. She did have the words.
But it's all in your soul.
Maybe that's the problem. If you're eloquent like Eliza, you can think. If you're,
yes.
Maybe like Courtney and me, you just go.
Yep. Well, that's it. There you go.
That. But I was going to say that when I was listening to the Novacom series for the first time, and Mitch and you were having so many ups and downs, and then when I hate to say it for spoilers, but when we thought he was dead, I literally cried. I felt like somebody had literally died, and you did those scenes so well, and I was so wrapped up in the romance of Connie and Mitch, and I just want to know, like, how much of Connie is based off of you? And like this question comes specifically from my brother. I did reach out to family members to see if they had any questions. My brother and I still listen to Adventures in Odyssey when we're doing puzzles over Christmas break, and he said he wanted to know, like, how much is adopted from your personality or your experiences, like talk radio, cooking experiences, bowling skills, fear of staplers, any of that. Is any of that real life?
Well, it is a combination. The writers came up with this character, but then I sort of had some influence, I think, on how she talks and how she reacts, and then the writers internalize that and bring that into it. But there are you can talk to every single actor, regular actor on the show, who will say, they handed me the script and it was so reflective of something that actually happened in my life that it was eerie. So it's, I do not have a real fear of staplers. Unless somebody's aiming it at my head, especially those heavy ones. But I'm a little hesitant around them. I'm very careful. Have you ever gone around those electric ones?
Yeah. I've noticed that about you too, Courtney. You're a little hesitant around staplers, especially that red one that I have, the great big bulky one.
I do like office machines, but I don't know. Does Connie have bowling skills? Because I was in a bowling league since I was in second grade. So not lately, but yeah. So I mean, things come up, and we talk. I think you talk to. We've known our team for this many years too. So you go out to eat, you talk about stuff. So who knows if that plants little seeds in their mind, and then. Yeah, we bring our personalities to our characters, which is what, you can imitate a voice, but you have to, can you imitate that person's personality, or that what I call, I do some voiceover coaching, and I came up with the phrase voice-anality, because it's not just a person, a voice, it's, the whole character. So, to be able to imitate a voice is one thing, to embody that character is another. So, yeah, we bring a lot of ourselves.
Yeah.
And and it seems we did a show, and this is another backwards thing. We did a video game once, a CD-ROM, where they went to Peru. And by the way, Courtney, I hope you and your brother have the Adventures in Odyssey app, because you have access to every single episode and all this bonus material, this all extra stuff just for people who have the app of episodes that were made just for that. If
Cool
you guys
as that.
you don't have to listen to the same things with the same puzzles. You
See,
know? You don't have to do like
See,
Groundhog
this is the
Day
thing.
every Christmas.
I do have
what?
specific ones I always go back to. My brother will be like, okay. And I'm like, but these are my
Come on,
favorites.
change it up. Find
I
out
didn't-
what's happened. You know, we've evolved. Like Eliza said, Connie's got her, stepsister living with her now, her half sister. I shouldn't say step, she's a half. There's all kinds of stuff going on. You're missing out.
I know.
Seriously, I know, but we take comfort in the things of our childhood, and other people are starting from a different place. So I'm not going to berate you publicly. I'm just going to encourage you. Yeah. Are you guys anywhere near? It's in Michigan. What's the place where the Focus on the Family bookstore is? It's not Grand Haven.
Grand Rapids?
Where do they heat up? No, it must be Grand Haven. Where they heat up the sidewalks there. And there's a Focus on the Family bookstore. Is it near Grand Haven? Are you near there at all?
I know of
Or
a
are you
South
really
Haven.
south?
Yeah, we're south of Michigan, but I mean,
We're south,
we go up
yeah.
to Michigan sometimes.
Is it Holland? It looks like it's Holland.
Because Holland, yeah. Well, the past 2 years I've been there at Christmas time reading stories to the kids. And we did an event there when they opened their store. You could have come up and met me and Phil and Townsend. We were there a few years ago when they opened the bookstore. And my mother-in-law lives in Michigan, so usually when we go at Christmas, I'll tell them I'm there and I'll come and they'll let me do something fun with the kids there. So yeah, I don't think you could have come and met me in person. You've had an opportunity. So maybe this Christmas we'll do it again. I should talk to them.
Well,
and
if you
then
do,
come up and say hi.
please send an email and we will let our listeners know as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, or if the radio station, if you guys want to do a big event and you want to have instead an Odyssey event, we're all up for it because we love meeting our fans. I want to encourage fans out there too, not to feel like, oh, they're so, important or they're so famous or something. I can't talk to them, because everybody likes a compliment, like I said, and if you're sincere and don't grab onto us and don't let go, anything up to that point is probably welcome.
There you go. That's just proper etiquette. Now, I did want to ask you, Courtney, when you were crying about the possible loss of Mitch, how old were you at that time?
I want to say, I know I was a teenager.
Okay.
I'm certain of it. Yeah.
So 18, 19, something like that?
I don't know if I was that old. I wouldn't put it past myself, though.
Yeah.
Not kidding
I
you.
wouldn't either. No, I
Well,
can see it.
Courtney, I was older than you and I was crying, so it's okay.
There you
Well,
go.
I do want to know, you said that sometimes they will hand you scripts and it's kind of eerily similar to your life. Did you ever have any
That's
kind
what I
of...
was going to tell you. We did this CD-ROM. They were in Peru, and I did go on a mission trip to Peru, actually, years later, which was really crazy.
Wow. Okay. That is crazy. So was there any similarity to the Mitch situation? Like, had there ever been a romance of that nature, or was that just totally off the wall?
With a CIA agent?
Anything
FBI
similar?
agent? No.
Not that she can reveal at this time, anyway.
Yes.
No,
That's
I
fine.
mean, it was pretty frustrating for me, too. Like, 1 minute everything's groovy, the next minute, who knows what's going on. So it was like, oh, this whole thing is driving me nuts.
Do you
I don't know what's happening?
Do you think they'll ever marry off the character Connie?
This is an ongoing discussion. It comes up like every 5 minutes, and there's a Facebook group, Adventures in Odyssey Fan Club Facebook group. Yeah, when Will, Ryan, and I started the Tell You Later show, there were 800 people. We thought, wow, this is a great audience. We'll tell them about our show. Now they're like up to 9,000 members.
Yes.
And it comes up quite a bit. And Phil Lawler also monitors the conversations in that group. And he's very well known for saying no.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
I know people like that.
In his mind, that'll never happen. Well, because what happens is, Eugene and Katrina, they got married, and that changes a lot of things. Like, it changed the opportunities Connie had to interact.
That's right. The
Eugene.
tension is good.
And that was the funnest part.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was the funnest part. So, that kind of died away. And I think probably that's why Will and I started the show, because we missed fighting with each other.
Yes.
But, it does change. It changes. But I do have, they feel like because, in fact, she's sort of raising her sister, it's given her a different, more mature sort of modus operandi, so to speak. But, what would happen? Look, Penny and Wooten got married. Jack and Joanne got married. How many people need to get married to satisfy you people?
I guess you're right. You know what? We can do just fine on our own. I'm not married yet either, Connie. Katie.
See?
Yes, exactly. I brought in a special guest, one of our other hosts. He's our afternoon host, Eric Nichols, and he's a huge fan as well. So he's here now.
Hi, afternoon host, Eric Nichols. Hi, how are you?
Oh, my goodness, Katie. Connie.
Is he all turning red? Is he turning red? That's
my
what
beard
I
actually just turned red, too. Hey, I just want to take 1 second just to jump in here and say thank you, because, I literally, just like Courtney, I grew up all through the years, and then I ended up going to the station that I listened to, and I started playing Odyssey at 4:30 every day. And my dad still listens every day.
Trippy.
So.
See? Art, life imitating art, art imitating life. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's the kind of stories. Thank you for sharing that, Eric. I can feel it. I can feel your vibe over the phone. Yeah, that's
wow.
It is. It's interesting because it's so impactful and it's so meaningful, and you're probably not the only one with a story like that. And who could ask for a bigger blessing in their life? And it's all God, because, we could think, I want to leave this legacy, but you can't create it. It has to be God, has to have something to do with it to be a part of something so incredibly unfathomable, and it's so neat. And people all over the world, missionaries, different people with different stories like yours. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, and for wanting to go into a business that is so impactful, because you guys know that every word you speak is a blessing. Everything you say goes out there over the air, and it's touching someone's ears. And if it's sincere, it's landing in their hearts. And you have the power to speak life and death every single minute. I don't. We go in the studio, and I say what's written there. You guys, God bless you. You're live, right? I am too.
Yeah.
And, we're live right now. No, just kidding. Man, Katie.
But you're there, and you have to be so in tune with everything you're doing and saying, and who might be listening, and just I admire. My sister was a DJ for a while. I'm like, how do you know anybody's even listening?
Yeah.
Wow.
And having that takes faith. So
well,
you have from your mouth to a million ears.
Well, I want to get out of the way here, but I just thank you so much for speaking that over us, and just for everything you've done through the years. Again, we cannot, I know Courtney and I cannot say how much of a huge impact Adventures in Odyssey had on our life and our siblings, our families, and and we're friends on Facebook, but hopefully we can meet in person someday.
Are?
Yep, Eric Nichols.
Well, are you part of the? Are you part of the Adventures in Odyssey fan club page?
Probably so. I would say I am for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, that's Well, I hope I get to meet you. What town are y'all in?
We are in Champaign, Illinois.
Oh, well, I have friends, and I was just on the phone. I have a few friends in my accountability group, and they all live around there.
Oh,
One's in
neat.
Wheaton.
We cover
Yeah.
the whole state.
Yeah.
We cover much of the state and our channels. So, all right, Katie.
Wow.
Well,
okay, bye, Eric.
I'm going to get out of the way here.
Give your siblings a big hug for me.
Oh, I will definitely do that. I will definitely do that. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. That is so cool.
Well,
did you have more questions?
we
Because
just
I
think
don't want to. I realize I've sort of hijacked whatever you had
you were
in mind.
totally
so-
fine. I am curious, how is the transition between working with Hal to working with Paul, the two different voices of Mr. Whitaker? I know there's a third one now, too.
Yes.
Yeah, how was all that?
There is. And he's been Mr. Whitaker the longest, in fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
That doesn't even seem real.
You know what? The first time they replaced Hal, I was relieved. First of all, I was impressed how much he reminded me of, the original Mr. Whitaker, and his voice did. So it was nice to have Mr. Whitaker again. Odyssey wasn't quite the same without him. And, the engineers did something that kind of bothered me, because when we used to record, Hal was always across from me. His mic was across from me.
Mm-hmm.
And after he passed away, they would put nobody on that mic. So I had nobody to look at until they hired Paul. And I don't think they realized what it did to my spirit to have that empty space to stare at. So
Yeah.
I was very happy to have Paul, and he was wonderful, and he was great to work with. He wasn't Hal, and like I said, I'd worked with Hal on a lot of shows. Prior to that, we all worked on Dumbo Circus together. That was on the Disney Channel. I don't know if you know that, but when I showed up for work, after Adam was born, I had no idea who was in the cast. Will Ryan, Walker Edmondson, Patty Paris, Hal Smith, and me were all in the cast of Dumbo Circus, and we were together 3 days a week for a year and a half prior to Odyssey. We were all very good friends before Odyssey started. They didn't know I was going to be on. We didn't talk. Nobody, you just go to work, and we just jumped right in because we all were used to working with each other.
Wow. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. I think that came through really, really quickly in all the shows, and I'm sure it only grew from there.
Yeah, that was a kind of a miraculous thing too, because, I think the engineer Bob Luttrell had recommended a lot of the other actors because he'd worked with them. He had never worked with me. But the writers knew me from when I barged into the studio, and we developed a relationship. So when they brought me in, everybody's like, "Oh, it's Katie." I'm like, "Oh, hey guys," and it was just wonderful. And I think that made it less awkward, me, dragging my baby with me too, because, they were all cool about it. That was a crazy situation, and only God could have worked that out, because I don't think even Bob knew we had been working together on Dumbo Circus. Chris, we didn't know, and I didn't even really get to know Chris until like 5 years into it, when we went to our first reunion, like a show, 5-year show in Colorado Springs, because she always comes in and does her stuff separately.
Oh.
And then they had us be roommates together. And then I really got to we had to share a hotel for that trip. And honestly, she is my BFF. I talk to her almost every single day, at least once. Yeah.
Wow.
Being a part of Odyssey has changed my life so much for the better. It's like it's my parallel universe. I live in it. It's just part of who I am, and I can't imagine life without it. It is so dug deep into all of our hearts and souls and minds after all this time. It's just, we are like family. Whenever we meet somebody who's a listener, it feels like family.
I love that.
It's just like, oh, and this is your cousin Courtney. Oh, hi Courtney. And this is your first family reunion. Yeah, because that's how it is. I would love to come to the radio station sometime or do something fun with your listeners if you ever want to.
I would love that.
I'm in the area.
I will definitely be seeing about doing something like that, because I just can't even imagine as a child, even now, of course, but I just think about all of our children listeners that are growing up with Adventures in Odyssey and how cool that would be to meet you in person. It was always just a total dream of mine.
Well, it's not that cool right now. You understand?
Cool.
I'm a grandma at this point.
That just doesn't matter. Oh,
some people.
No, but actually, I do need to ask this question then, because it's a mystery. Okay. How old is Connie? No one ever knows. It's a mystery age.
Yes, I agree. Yes, it is a mystery. Yes.
So you don't know either?
No.
Okay. All right, and then the other mega mystery for me is where the heck Odyssey is.
Yes, that's another thing. I don't think it's very far from where you live.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, though, actually, since Chicago gets mentioned so much, it has to be near here.
Got to be somewhere. Maybe it's underground. I don't know. It's it's somewhere. It's, what does Phil Lawler say? It's in your imagination. It's wherever you want it to be. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of it, right?
It really is.
Know?
Do you have a favorite episode?
Even the struggle of putting, faces to the voices just makes your brain work a little harder, right? Makes you have to create something that makes you even more invested, I guess, in what you're listening to. So, and that's good. That's what makes us cousins.
Yes.
Do I have a favorite episode? Everybody always asks me that too. I think there's episodes that are really neat to listen to, that are impactful. There's ones that were super fun recording. When we did I Slapped Floor, I was like, what in the world is going on around here? Because they didn't tell us. I hadn't seen the script, right? So we're reading along. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
That's fun.
That was pretty fun. That was a fun show. And License to Drive was a hoot, obviously.
Yep, that would have been a great one.
Teaching Eugene, Will used to say, oh, yeah, that's the episode where I teach Connie how to drive.
That was a good one.
But there's so many, and some really poignant episodes, right? I mean, there were some that were really challenging for me to act when. See, I can't tell. You haven't even heard them. I can't tell you what they are. You probably haven't even heard them. So we'll discuss this after you do your homework, Courtney.
Well, I only just recently found out. Like, I'm talking a month or two ago, found out that I could pay for a streaming service and hear all the episodes. This is what my childhood dreams were made of. Getting a whole set of Odyssey tapes for Christmas was like getting a brick of gold. And now I can just have them at my fingertips. I can't believe it.
I know. It's kind of messed. It does take away that preciousness of the shows. I have a friend who is just in his attic, and he sent me a video. Is in his parents' attic and found a box full of cassette albums, and sent me the video of that. So yeah, I mean, it's every stage is different. I mean, I don't think you could get. Well, I met a guy in line at Costco when we were going to order one of their drinks, and we got to talking, and he grew up on Odyssey, and he said his sister just found cassettes, and he's got like a 4-year-old, and she said, you want these for your kid? And he was thinking of buying a cassette player just to play it for him. So,
that's literally, Jonathan does that.
Yes, I do.
Yep, he does that with his
how
kids.
My kids, that's the only Odyssey my kids have heard are the cassettes, and we do that pretty regularly.
How old are they?
They are 9 and 12.
See, that's great, but you could get CDs if you don't want to get the streaming, but you got to keep moving. You got to there's not like 900, and we're going to have our 1,000th episode done by next summer.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to get the streaming thing. That's what I need to do.
Chances are, or get some CDs if you really like, the analog. If you're kinesthetic and you need to touch it, you could get them that way, because they do come out that way, and they will have them at the Focus on the Family bookstore up there in Holland.
Oh, cool.
I'm sure. Yeah, and that's a pretty fun place. It's a neat town to go to.
I need to go.
Well, I'm sure I'll be there at Christmas. You just reminded me to call the bookstore and let them know, because my mother-in-law is 94 years old, and she lives up there in Michigan, and so we try to spend Christmas with her every year. And but I hate, I love to go down and visit the bookstore because it's fun, and that way I get out of the house. Okay.
Wow. Well, this has been a real joy. Truly.
Yeah.
It's been fun for me
You guys
to
are
watch,
so
and I
nice.
filmed part of it, and it's just real good, memorable forever.
I think Jonathan really has it in for you, Courtney. I don't know what he's setting a trap. He's doing something. I don't know.
You just never
how
know
old
with
are
him.
you, Courtney?
How old?
Are you allowed to say how old you are?
Yeah, I'm definitely allowed. I'm almost 33.
Oh, okay. So you're like, my kid's age, and you guys. I guess Jonathan's a little bit older.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
suspecting.
Much older.
But you guys do the radio show together every morning?
You
Every
got
morning.
it. You got it.
You bet. He's not that
Wow,
much
that's
older.
so neat.
We just sit here and talk to the
Well,
listeners and do our stuff, you know?
Yeah, he just, yep.
Oh, you guys are awesome, and obviously very, very faithful servants. I'm sure the Lord is saying, well done. You guys are doing a great job. And it's so neat to talk to you. And Viva Live Radio.
Yes.
Amen.
That's the truth. And Viva Adventures in Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
And what a neat thing. Wow. Thank you for saying that. That's really
If
nice.
you ever come out to California, call me up. We'll go have,
One of those Costco
coffee
beverages.
or an omelet.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
I mean it, Courtney. I'm serious.
Do you know where she lives in California?
Actually,
I'll be figuring it out.
It's a big state.
yeah, it's a big state. But so when does this go on the air?
Hopefully tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah, we'd like to air it tomorrow.
Okay,
That'd be really neat.
Well, can I tell you? I'll tell you something then, because this might be pertinent, but maybe not, since y'all are in Chicago. But I'm flying to Colorado Wednesday night. My friend's being interviewed on the Focus on the Family show. My friend who lives in Indiana. She might be listening right now. Shout out to Peggy Sue Wells, one of the best Christian writers out there. And she wrote a book with Pam Farrell. Anyway, John Daly's going to interview them Thursday morning, and I want to be there. Pray that my flight does not get canceled. It is on Frontier Airlines, and it's the night before. I want to come watch her do that. And then I'm going to hang out at Wits End on Thursday and Friday. Who knows, maybe even Saturday morning, and scoop ice cream and say hi to people and relieve the girls behind the counter there at Wits End in Colorado Springs. And people always ask, are you Connie? And they're like, no, I just work here. So I'm going to get to actually say,
That's hilarious.
yeah, I am Connie. What do you want? What do you want? Let me scoop you out something. So,
Like
yeah,
a Wad
I'm
Fam
excited. I'm
Chalk
gonna be
song?
there.
Oh,
Exactly. I know how to make them. They make them there.
Ah, yes.
wow.
I got to get there.
And this, so if you hop on a plane and come out, I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I fly home.
Oh, my gosh. So tempting.
I think you're going to
Yeah.
find yourself in Colorado Springs before you know it, Court.
Oh,
I think it's
well.
going to happen.
It just might.
Well, let me know if you're there. You know my phone number now, so
There you go.
that's
Great.
it. We're done. We're cousins who know how to find each other
Isn't that
now.
This is awesome. I never would
You
have
ever
dreamed.
think?
No.
Yeah.
This is so good. Thank you so much.
Well, big hugs to you, and maybe I'll see you at Christmas time, if not this week. And if anybody's headed to Colorado Springs, come by and say hi, or find out when I'm going to be there. Probably Thursday afternoon, I think. Yeah. Anyway, gosh, there's so much to talk about, so call me anytime.
Okay.
What a lovely thing.
This is good. Really good. We'll
Well,
call
thank you
back.
so much for giving us this time today.
Yes.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And, you know, anything to make your job easier.
Oh, yeah. And
We'll
more
take
fun.
you up on it. Yeah, more fun for sure. Thank you so much.
Cool. Have a great
Tell
day.
your people to watch Tell You Later on YouTube. Become a patron. I make handmade crocheted scrubbies for our patrons.
Oh,
so,
would you look at
you know,
that?
there's so much you're missing out.
I've got to check it out.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.